What is up, everybody? This is Lou. I hope you're having an awesome day out there in the internet world, and I have a really good video for you today. I wanted to talk about what Jenny and I experienced today. It was amazing. We are expecting a child. She's 3 months pregnant, so we're super excited about that. And what I wanted to talk about was home births because we made the decision together that that's how we want to go ahead and have this baby, and we went ahead and took action and moved forward to finding out information about it. She did her research, and we went today and met with a midwife. Her name was Maggie, and let me tell you guys something. Now, I don't know how much you may know about home births and how the hospital business and things like that work, because in all reality that's what it is. It's a business. This was one of the, honestly, it was really just really nice, wasn't it? It was really cool. She was amazing. She was real. She was real down to earth. She was explaining things to us in our free consultation that I didn't know, and I know a little bit about the subject, more than the average person. I've watched a few documentaries, read a couple articles, things like that, so I kind of had an idea of why we were wanting to go in there to look for a midwife and do the at-home birth. But she further instilled in us that it's the way to go. She made us feel completely comfortable. Which I can't say this for every midwife because every midwife is different, and we only went to one and we're working with her. Period. That's about sold. We went in there and she sold us. So, but it goes along the lines of what we learned today and what just the saying we spoke with Maggie about it is ignorance is bliss. And that saying is a damn lie. Okay? Ignorance is stupidity. Number one. It's just ignorance is ignorance. It's not knowing things. And for what we didn't know about the birthing process, the things that are done in hospitals to rush the birthing process, how the birthing process is supposed to be sacred. It's supposed to be something that's cherished, especially sacred for the mother, right? And, me personally, I have 2 children from a past relationship, so I've been through the process one time before that, before this here. And it was, my first son, my oldest son, was born through a C-section. And talk about a whole different ball game, because for all the mothers out there and fathers have been through the process of, a C-section. It's quick, it's scheduled, it seems convenient, it seems like the way to go. Your nurses and your doctors are going to push you towards that route, and they're going to make you feel like that's the best thing. At the same time, when you're in the hospital, and you're probably going through regular labor, they're always going to be pushing you towards that. And what's funny, we were talking with Maggie today, and she was saying at the end of the day, it's a business, which I knew already, but she just solidified it. It's a business, and if you want your child to be born as part of somebody's business transaction, then that's probably what's going to happen when you go through a hospital. I always used to say to myself, babe, I always used to say that how were people having babies before hospitals? How do people in the jungle have babies? How do people in the Amazon and all these places have kids, and their kids grow up to be fine, and they birth you know what I'm saying? Why is it that you have to go to a hospital, get an epidural, get some Pitocin, go induce the labor? It's putting more stress on the mom. Mind you, if it's putting more stress on the mom, what the hell you think it's doing to the baby? What do you think it's going to be doing to the baby? Right? It's true. What do you think that's doing to the baby? I'm thinking about all this stuff. As a father, I go, okay, if what a mother eats is going right to the baby, then what about the chemicals in that epidural that numb the body from the hips down. What is that doing to the baby? Let's say for a C-section, that process of the baby going through the birth canal and everything, that whole process, when the baby's ready, when the baby makes the decision to come out, and you have a C-section where it's just, boom, cut open, pulled out of a nice, warm, comfortable environment, not on the baby's schedule, that's got to do something. It's got to do something to the mom as well as the baby. So, I mean, ignorance is not bliss. If you don't know this shit, then you're just ignorant. You see what I'm saying? So don't go around life thinking, oh well, because I meet people all the time that are like, oh, I don't want to know about that. No, I just rather not worry about it. As we came to the conclusion with Maggie today is, especially with pregnancies, is you say you don't want to know about it now, but you're gonna know about it when you're having that baby, and that's not the time you want to find out about this stuff. It's not. I wouldn't wish that on anybody, and I'm never gonna have a baby. You know what I'm saying? I'm never gonna be pregnant and have the baby, but I don't wish that the whole process on any of my enemies out there. To where you go into a situation, you're just ignorant to it, and you're obviously a mom who cares about your child more than anybody does on the planet. So you're just hoping and trusting in a system that is built for money. It's the bottom line. It's for money. It's what's making that system go. I watched a documentary that we talked about today. It's, damn it, what's the name of the documentary? The business behind babies. Something like that. You can probably find it on Netflix. But that documentary opened up my eyes big time because it shows you the business behind having babies and the business behind hospitals and things of that nature. So I just wanted to say I want to give my 2 thumbs up to home births, not just because of what we found here today, but because my second son from my past relationship was an at-home birth, and he's amazing. My first son's amazing too. They're both amazing, but he's fine. And that's to prove to everybody out there that you might speak to or that might be watching this video going, Lou's crazy. The at-home births. Well, that's why they have hospitals. That's why they have doctors to go there. I have first-hand experience. I have first-hand experience that not many people are going to be able to say that they have. I have 2 beautiful boys, and one of them was born at home, and he's great. So it's not, oh, you have a higher risk of this and that. It's totally, do not take it for what it is on the surface. Do your research. For any pregnant woman out there right now, if you are watching this or you are planning on having kids, I suggest highly, just meet with a midwife at-home birth midwife and have your free consultation. Just spend an hour talking to them. You're not going to get tricked into anything. It's not going to be a high pressure sales funnel thing that they're going to be putting you through. And no, it's nothing like that. What I realized today speaking with Maggie, which I'll put her information in the bottom of the video. If you're in the Orlando, Longwood, anywhere area near me here, hit her up. Call her. Especially, and just have a consultation. Just sit down and talk to this lady because she just opened our eyes to a lot of things. It was wow. This birthing process is really something sacred that needs to be taken very seriously. On how you're bringing a life into the world, and mind you, for the mom. Us guys, we got it pretty easy. You know what I'm saying? Like, our process is pretty easy, and I'm sure I don't have to explain our process. We just, as fathers, as future fathers, we have to realize that we are, responsible for taking care of the babies and the moms, especially when you're in a relationship with that person. You want the best for them. So it's, do the research. Just do the research. Look into it. Watch a couple documentaries. Don't be so skeptical and closed-minded to where you're putting more risk on top of your child than there even should be. I mean, all those chemicals. What did we find out today? We found out today about the Down syndrome test. We went to the doctors, And they asked us, you go for your weekly, your monthly checkup or whatever, and they're like, hey, do you want to go ahead and do this test for Down syndrome? So when somebody asks you something like that, what do you think the average person's going to say? Oh, so you guys are going to test for Down syndrome? Yeah. Well, yeah, of course I'd like to know if my child's going to have Down syndrome or not. Sure. So, sign paperwork. Well, we had an appointment for February the 12th. Between a specific time, they need that blood at that time, so we're going in to do that. Now, we go to talk to Maggie about it, and she asked us. She knows the procedure. She's like, did they ask you for the Down syndrome test? I said, yeah. Okay, so do you know what that is? I'm like, yeah, I know everything. Yeah, I'm Marisa. I know everything. Yeah, it's a Down syndrome test. I tell you, she's like, no, it's. Let me explain to you what it is. It's a screening that they do, just to bring it on to the next. I won't get into the details because she threw out a lot of big words, but it's a screening. It's not even really the test, and the screening a lot of times bring back a lot of false positives. So off of a false positive, they go and do another screening. And with that other screening, they have to take some amniotic fluid or something like that out of the where the baby's at, and just that process can cause a 15% increase in miscarriage. So she goes to us and she goes, so let me ask you something. If that test comes back to where your baby, they check the DNA and they can find out all kinds of stuff. If that test comes back to where your baby may have some complication, are you gonna abort? And we looked at each other and we were like, hell no, we're not gonna abort. So she goes, well, what's really the difference then? Why would you? But you're putting a risk. You're adding an extra risk into there just to find out early when it's really not gonna make a difference whether you keep the baby or not. So. Oh, at the end of the day, we go, okay, well, we're not going to go do that test now. Why? Because we were ignorant to it at first. We found out some information from a reliable source, and we go, that makes sense. So ignorance is not bliss. Ignorance can cost lives. Don't be ignorant to stuff, and don't be overly skeptical about things either. Do your research, But I just wanted to share that. Maggie, if you see this video, you're awesome. And I know that you are going to be our midwife, and you are going to help us through this process and guide us and hold our hands. And all the stuff she was saying, she handles everything. The blood work, the blood tests, she walks you through it. She's there the entire process. Post child, she's there too, checks up on you. It's not like you C-section, you're out and you're gone. It's just, it was way more involved in a good way than I was even expecting, and I'm glad I actually went to the meeting with Jenny to go meet her, and she's absolutely amazing, and we're definitely looking forward to having her as part of our lives and part of this process, because the process is sacred. You don't just let anybody in this process, so why would you go and just let, you go to the doctor, and the doctor could be on vacation when you're having your baby. Now you got some other guy in between your legs. You know what I'm saying? Just boom, surprise. And that could make a woman feel extremely uncomfortable. I've seen that happen before. It's happened many times. So with having that midwife that's dedicated to you, you get to know them. You get to you meet with them more than you would be meeting with your doctor. And she was absolutely right. When you go to your doctor for your monthly checkup, you're in and out of there. You're in and out 5 minutes. When we went this past Friday. Yeah, it was 5 minutes. He came in, did the heartbeat. Dun, 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 dun. Okay, cool little moment. Oh, it's cool, it's special. Okay, good. And he's gone. Boom! We got to go to the next person. You know what I'm saying? Gone. So what she said is that, you're going to come in for your checkups with me here, and we're going to get business done. We're going to do the blood work and everything, and then we're going to spend an hour talking. I know. Cancel your appointments with your doctor. Come here. Oh, she said it's up to us, right? She was like, it's up to you. But we're like, okay, well, we might as well just do everything with you if you're the one that's going to be handling the birthing process. So it only makes sense. And when we come to do the tests and stuff with you, we get to know you. She takes pride in let's sit down for an hour and let's talk. Let's talk about what's going on in Jenny's life. She made a funny comment. She goes, there's going to be times where I can't be in the room because the conversations might be about me. You know what I'm saying? They might be about me. It may be that, Jenny has to let some steam off and talk about me. It's cool. I don't care, because whatever is going to make her more comfortable in the process and our baby more comfortable in the process is my mission as a father. Is my mission as a dad and as her man. In the supporting process is to just, I don't care what y'all got to do. Do what you got to do. I'm just going to support it and go with it as long as you're comfortable. So I just thought that was kind of funny, but there's a lot more involved. There's a spiritual aspect to it, there's an emotional aspect to it, and there's a physical aspect to it. When the hospitals, all they really touch on is the physical aspect of it. But damn, you are more than just your physical body. You're a spiritual being and you're an emotional being. And those all three tie into each other. If not, the emotional and the spiritual affect the physical. Right? So depending on how Jenny's feeling emotionally and spiritually can affect how her physical body is affected, and then the baby at the same time. So it's just something to look for out there, especially, I'm talking to mainly my ladies out there that are pregnant, or fathers that are out there that make decisions and influence the women that we are with, so look into it. Look into it. There are ways of doing it. It's not something that costs a ton of money. You can pay for it. They do have providers out there that provide through Medicaid, because this is not some service that is just for the upper echelon of society. It's not. It's not. It's something that can be attained by people at every income level. At every income level. And I feel personally that if your goal is to have a safe pregnancy, if your goal is to do the best that you can to provide a smooth pregnancy, prenatal and post, then you owe it to yourself to look into it. You owe it to yourself to look into it. And that's my main purpose for making this video today, is because we were enlightened today. And I feel that because, Maggie is paying it forward, helping us in our situation, that I have a duty to pay it forward and let as many people know as possible. Because there may be, the video may only get 5 views, the video may get 500 views. I don't know. But if one person's life is touched and one person's child is better off because of it, that's it. That's all we need in this world, right? So check it out. Look into it. Home births. Awesome stuff. Super comfortable. You get to do it at home. You don't have to go to a hospital and spend 3-4 days at the hospital. You get to do it at home. Where's more comfortable than home? Right? So check it out. Once again, this is Lou. Love you guys. Thanks for watching. If you liked the video, like it. Subscribe to my channel. I'm going to have a ton of other videos coming out with information that I learn every day, just to spread the knowledge. Let's just spread it and just make everybody more intelligent and get rid of that nonsense cliche of ignorance is bliss. It's a lie. It's a lie. A lot of shit out there is a lie, and that is one of them. Ignorance is bliss. It's not true. Ignorance is ignorance, period. So if you don't know something, it could end up hurting you. At least know what's going on. At least do the research, a little bit of due diligence. And I feel that if it has to do with your child, there needs to be a lot of due diligence put into it, because it is your child. So once again, this is Lou with Always Ambitious. Wanted to drop that news. We're gonna be parents. Awesome, good news. And leave your comments. Leave your comments, subscribe, like, and we hope you have an amazing day and you stay blessed. Okay, peace.